I got to do the intro and shit. Keep laughing. All right, I think we're good. All right, welcome to episode 2. It's our second go of it. We made it. We did it. We're being consistent for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
See how long we can keep it. You never know how it's gonna go. Thank you for all the support on the last episode. We actually got a lot of downloads from some interesting countries. We got some downloads from Japan and Spain. We got a good amount. So thank you for the support and all that. Appreciate it. If you're new, I didn't think about people who were new on the last episode, and like they don't even fucking know who we are. So it's like I'm Rebel/Hessen. I've been making content for years. It's an old story. This is Josh. If you want to introduce yourself,
Well,
Josh Saucy.
saucy.
Yeah,
I don't even
Saucy.
think in Josh anymore. I think in saucy.
Right, my
Um,
bad. Yeah, I shouldn't even. I don't
yeah,
know why I went for the formal
the formal,
introduction for you. I don't know.
depressed
Yeah.
university student.
Mhm.
That's about all there
Yeah.
is.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, I guess we'll start it off hot. We'll come in hot. With a story. It's something that happened to me today. I thought it would be. It's such a weird thing. I don't know how. I want to see what you think of it as well. So I ordered coffee today, as I usually do,
hmm
and I've said to you a few times they always like not always, but maybe once or twice a week, one of them will show up fucking spilled,
Yeah.
leaking all over the place, and the guy's embarrassed and blah blah blah. Well, today, guy showed up and he there's this little bag that they hold it in, right?
Yep.
But he's carrying it very carefully, and I'm like, oh fuck, like here we go, he fucking spilled it. Comes up to the door or whatever, like hi, how you doing? Look good. And he's like, he's being super careful, like literally just like eyes like peeled super wide, handing it to me and going like this, and I'm like, okay. I was like, what? Did it spill? And he went, he went, no, I was being careful, and then he went, I laughed like that, bro. And I was like,
Okay.
I kind of stood back. I was like, yo, are you good? It was so weird. He like made a smile. He was like, and like laughed to the side. It was so fucking weird. I was like, okay. And then he kind of walked away and was still laughing. It creeped me the fuck out so bad, dude. It was the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life. I locked the door. I was like, I'm gonna get murdered. Like, this is what happens. This is what happens. Someone's being weird, they come back and they kill you at night. It was so
Mhm.
fucking weird. But I was curious, like, how the fuck what would you do?
I
It's
don't
so
know.
weird.
Like, I've never seen someone or heard someone laugh like that in real
It's
life
so
before.
weird.
Like
It was like
like an
a
actual
legit cackle. Yeah. It was fucking weird.
and like I don't know if he's already spilled coffee that like
I
week,
don't know.
and that's why he was holding it
I don't
carefully.
know.
And he was like,
Not
"Not
today.
this time,"
He
or
won that
something.
time
But
or
like,
something.
I've never heard a
It
cackle
was so
quite like
weird. In
that.
the face, like I wish I could do. I probably look like an idiot, but he like like it was so weird. I just felt so bad because then I thought about it. I went inside and I was like, he probably laughs like that. Like, imagine being at a party and like I feel like he's the guy at the party who tells a real shit joke and just laughs at
His
himself,
own
but
joke.
it's super fucking creepy.
But
It's gotta
I
be
feel
so
like
bad.
if he laughed at his own joke in that like laugh, I feel like I'd
People
laugh.
would laugh with him
Like if
just
I
because
heard
it's
someone
so
cackle.
weird.
Have you seen? There's a clip going around on this like TV show where they gathered all the like weirdest laughs in the country, and they got them on a talk
Oh
show,
my
and they all just like
god, yeah. It
started
was
laughing.
just, and they were all laughing weird as
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah. I
hmm
I I just
So
so
I'm a little.
jarred. I was so like I didn't know what to think. Like it was so random and fast and I just like I I just couldn't understand why he did that. But I was just thinking like, oh, you imagine like holding your son for the first time and you're just like, ah, ah, it's so weird, bro. It's so fucking weird.
Oh no.
Like, or like at a movie, you know? It would
Oh
be so
man.
bad in a full theater and it's super quiet. It's not even a funny moment, and you just hear ah It was so bad.
Dude. Oh
I can't
god.
believe it. I can't believe it.
Everyone's head would
I
turn, bro.
100%. Everyone would be in the theater like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And I've known a few people who have weird laughs, but not
Not
like with
cackle.
also like a physical. It was such a weird physical like made a smile, didn't laugh yet, turned, started laughing. It was so weird. It was like a full movement with like his shoulders. It was so fucking weird. It was the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. Maybe not the weirdest, but in the past like year, it was the weirdest fucking thing. And now but I remember his name, so if I get coffee from him again, I'm gonna try to get him to laugh, and I'm gonna record it. And it is what it is. Like I'd have to share it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what happened to me today. I might get murdered tonight. I don't know. Hopefully not. But
You just
that would
sleeping,
be
you see
super
someone standing in
scary.
the doorway. Ha 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 ha.
Yo, yeah, that'd be so. Oh
It's
god,
a
that's gonna.
silhouette
I'm
of
gonna
a
have a
guy with a
nightmare
knife.
now.
It's just the cackle, bro.
He's turned. It is so
He
weird because
turns
he
his head.
turns sideways, so you just see the silhouette and the head moving. Like, oh my god, it was so weird. But yeah, that happened to me today, so I thought that'd be a fun story to share.
Yeah.
But what was the
Alrighty.
topic that you said
Oh, my
leading into
topic
that?
was just, I feel like a good like starting topic every week is just like anything new that happened for us during the week, anything
Mm,
exciting. I know you got your PC
I did.
yesterday,
I
today.
did. Yeah. Today, yesterday, technically, it's only been 2 hours really.
Yeah.
Yesterday, but yeah, I mean that was about it. It
hmm
was. I guess was this the week of my birthday? It was, right? Or this last week? And yeah, no, it was this week
Yeah.
because it was on a Monday or a Tuesday or something
Yeah.
like that. Nothing really exciting. No, I got a PC and you know was incredibly depressed, and here I am.
Here you are.
So
Brand new.
here I am, brand new. I'm a new man. It's a new year.
hmm
I've gained weight already. Um, that's it.
Nice.
Been a good year so far. Good year. What about you?
Um, since last time, I don't remember what the last day we recorded was. Um, but
I
I
think it was last
am
last Friday,
back at university,
last Thursday,
first week,
right? Yep.
so not actually doing anything really, but just chilling. Um,
Getting accustomed to it
on the
again.
gym grind. I used to call it a grind.
I saw
Two
the
days, two
Snapchat.
days. Um,
Nice.
but I gotta say, I went yesterday
Mhm.
for like an hour just on the track, treadmill, whatever.
Yeah.
Never in my life has ramen tasted that good before. Maybe it's like just after working out, food tastes better. But like I had
Yeah.
some instant noodles like after working out
Mhm.
yesterday, and it was like the best it's ever tasted in my life. And it was still pretty good today. So maybe they just changed their
Yeah.
recipe on the instant noodles, or maybe
I
going to the
mean,
gym
I
first
doubt.
just makes that food taste ten
I
times better.
mean, it definitely does. Cause I remember when I was going to the gym, however long ago it was now.
hmm
Um, I would stop at this Japanese supermarket called Fuji. I think I told you about it a
Yep.
bunch. Um, and I would get like sashimi or like Japanese snacks and stuff, and they were fucking the on the way home because I was in Thailand, and if anyone is listening to this who's in Thailand or has been to Thailand, the traffic is so ass. You're stuck in traffic for hours. I mean, like you're there.
hmm
So I would just sit in the car, be exhausted. I'd have the air on me. I'd be snacking on some Japanese shit and like watching YouTube. It was amazing. It's some of the best tasting snacks I've ever had. And I think you might be right. I think it's like after a long workout, maybe you didn't eat anything before, even
Yep.
though you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I never eat anything
I
before I work out.
didn't.
Yeah, I think it definitely hits different for sure. I don't know what it is, but maybe because you're so hungry that you're
Maybe.
just like, oh my god, you forget what food is like for a day.
Yeah.
That's great. No, yeah, for sure. Careful though, because that'll fuck your whole workout up. If you're like, oh man, if you start thinking about it and you're like, oh, pizza would taste really good too. And then you
Ah.
start eating pizza after you work out, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Then you
Yeah.
start
Gotta be
going off the
careful.
rails. Yeah, you gotta be careful.
But
But just instant ramen. What do you get on your shopping trips? I'm curious, cause
it depends. So
I'm curious if you fit the college stigma of like
Definitely.
frozen food and
Yeah,
ramen and
yeah,
soda. Like,
yeah. Recently, like I just started actual cooking, so but I haven't done anything fancy
mm,
this semester. But typical like a big shopping trip that I just did was like all the stuff that doesn't take any time to make. So I grabbed like a 12
right.
thing of ramen noodles, some Kraft dinner, mac and cheese, whatever you want to call it. I grabbed some bread, some hot dogs, some frozen vegetables.
Oh, okay.
I had
Stepping it up. Mm,
grabbed some sausage and cheese, crackers, carrots. Um,
nice. It's actually relatively healthy. Like, I
I
mean,
mean, I'm trying to
I
sneak
don't
in
know if
some
frozen
healthy
vegetables
snacks
is
in
good
there.
or like,
It's not as good as fresh, but it's not as bad as
right.
other things you could be having. So that's where I'm drawing the
Yeah.
line. But
Right.
um,
It's the thought that counts,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You got vegetables. Who gives a fuck if they're fresh or not? They're
exactly,
vegetables.
exactly.
They weren't
There's
in your
green
diet
on the
before,
plate.
so it's an effort to put it. Yeah, there's something there now.
And then I got some Pocky sticks because it can't all be healthy.
Of course, of course. Oh, Pocky's amazing.
Yeah.
Pocky's such a good snack. Like if you're
Mm-hmm.
just bored and you want to eat. I have a terrible habit where I'm like if I'm bored and I have food that's very accessible and like if I have sandwich shit around,
Mm-hmm.
I have like 6 sandwiches in one day,
Yeah, I'm
bro. It's
a
so bad, but like I just get bored and I eat.
eat. Yep.
Like that's just what I do. Um, but yeah, like I bought sandwich shit a few days ago
Mm-hmm.
and like I'm just like, oh, let me just make a sandwich because it's never filling. Like I don't know about you, but like I can never get real full off like a normal 2 pieces of bread sandwich.
No.
Like it just doesn't. It's not gonna happen. But yeah, I'll have like 5 in one day, and then I'm like, wow, half of the loaf is gone. It's been a fucking day. Like this is not good. But it's like it's cheap. I'm trying to eat out less, so I'm like, well, I'm probably gaining the same amount of weight. I'm just spending a shitload less money. So
Yeah.
it's like, pick your poison
You
type of
gotta
thing,
start
I
making
guess.
your own coffee. It's the next step.
I know, but I'm so lazy and nothing. It like it never. It's so much easier to press a button and you know what it's gonna taste like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you make it at home, the milk might be off, the ice might not be the way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's always different, and it's just easier for me to just be like. I was saying on stream, I was like, if Starbucks sponsored me, like I'm probably one of their highest paying customers. I buy Starbucks all the fucking
At
time.
least
I
twice a
spend
day.
so much stupid fucking at least twice a day. What's that? 4 cups of coffee, ventis. That fucking adds up, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I would like if Starbucks paid me or like gave me a card, they would own me. Is what I was saying. Like they're my like it's okay. Like just pay me and I'll fucking sell my soul for you.
Yeah.
Like I spent so much on Starbucks. It would be a legitimate. I bet if you broke down like my monthly spending, a good quarter of it is Starbucks.
Yeah.
A good quarter. And that doesn't include, like that's like with food and gas. Like Starbucks is a big fucking chunk.
Mm.
And I don't want it to be, but it's just so easy. And it's always the same. It's just one day.
One
One
day.
day. I just need a good girl to make me coffee. Then,
That's why you gotta actually go
'cause
to
they
Starbucks.
mm, mm,
Run
yeah,
into
fuck,
the
you
the
got
good
me.
girls.
The good
You
coffee
need
shop
to
girls.
move
Yeah.
like within a block of a Starbucks. That way you can like walk down there, and just
Right,
chill
yeah. Well,
inside.
I mean, I think at the college I'll be going to,
They have a
there's going to be
Starbucks
like a
on
coffee
campus
shop.
or
I'm
something.
sure they have, yeah, I'm sure they
I'm
got something.
positive. A lot of them do, and it's the big one you're going
Yeah.
to. So.
Yeah, it's a big campus, so I'd imagine they probably have multiple coffee shops like throughout
Hmm.
the different
I mean,
halls
we're
and
a
shit.
small
But
campus here, and we have two or three, two. So
right,
there's no way yours
I
doesn't
mean,
have a Starbucks.
for sure there's got to be something. There'll be some kind of coffee place. It's probably overpriced, but
Hmm.
you know. So I'll be spending more money on coffee, but I'll be maybe finding a wife or something. I don't know.
It's a fair trade-off.
Be finding my coffee shop wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's priceless. That's priceless. So it's fine. But you're not a big coffee guy though.
Nope.
You like tea and like London Fog and stuff,
Like
right?
London Fog, and I'm trying to dabble into just tea, but
Just
it's a
tea.
slow
Okay.
journey.
See, I like tea, I'm not a big like for the longest time I only drank, like hot coffee, hot tea, like hot beverages.
Hmm.
But somewhere along the line, I think I noticed that like with iced coffee, I can get a bigger amount and it lasts longer. Like like a big hot cup of coffee, it's gonna get like cold after a while. So you kind of have to drink it fast enough to like keep up with the temperature.
Hmm.
But with like an iced coffee, you can make that last for like an hour or two if you really want.
Yeah,
And like the ice melts a little bit and you don't really notice.
it's a fair
So it's
point.
like I switched to just iced coffee because it's easier. But then I don't really like normal coffee. I don't really like hot tea
Hmm.
now as well. So I kind of went off the tea grind, but there's a bit there. I was having some English breakfast,
Yep.
good old English breakfast. I grew up with a lot of British people, and so like I learned how to make the English, like you put the English breakfast, splash of milk. It's like
Hmm.
fucking, it's nice. But yeah, I'm not a big tea guy anymore. It's just, I mean, iced tea is good, but it's so sweet, like, and I don't want to make my own,
Yeah, I'm not
so
a big iced tea
I
guy.
end up
I
just
actually
drinking.
didn't like it for like a lot of my childhood.
Yeah.
But my roommate here like buys like the mix to make your own iced tea. So sometimes I'll
Oh yeah, it
grab some
makes
of
like a
that.
jug or
Yeah, it's
something.
just like a big jug of powder and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's okay, but it's definitely not something I'm like if I see it I'm gonna buy it like a Coke or something.
Right.
But
Yeah. Like a Coke. Okay.
like a Diet Coke.
Yeah. I heard it's not like Coke. I
I
wait, but
love
I
that.
realized
I love
you were
that
talking
mix.
about
Yeah,
cocaine. So. Oh yeah,
that
it's a great
powder.
mix. Of
Mm.
course, of course. The ready mix.
Yep.
Um, do you guys have Tang? You know what Tang is?
Nope.
No. Okay. Interesting. It's like this weird juice mix
Hmm.
that like. Oh, what does that say? Saucy's
Uh,
computer stopped recording.
yeah, it says I don't have space, but I'm not storing these anyways, so
Okay, yeah, so we're
as long
fine.
as yours is
Anyways,
still recording.
sorry about that. Yeah, I think we're good. Um, yeah, it's like this weird juice mix. It's not Kool-Aid, but it's like mango juice, but a mix. It's
Huh.
really fucking weird. But I've never seen it anywhere but here, so I was
No,
curious if you guys have it.
haven't heard of Tang.
It's interesting. It's not terrible. It's just really like it's like
Sweet
cool. It's like really sweet. Yeah,
Kool-Aid.
it's super sweet. Gives you a fucking headache.
Man, I haven't had Sunny D in forever either. Still see that around. I don't know if Sunny D was part
Oh
of your
man,
experience, but it's like
it
a
definitely was.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think I liked it more when I was younger,
Yeah,
for
I haven't
sure.
tried it when I was
I
older,
liked it
but
more when
like
I
I
was
look at
younger.
it and there's like so much sugar in there, and I'm like, man, like I kind of just
Oh,
want to see
it's
what it tastes like,
packed.
but I
Oh yeah,
don't want to buy it. I mean, I
it's
know I'd like it,
fucking packed
but
with sugar.
it's probably a little
Wait,
strong.
have you never had it?
No, no, I've had it when I was younger. Like, I
Okay,
just wonder how it tastes
okay,
now because it's been like at
yeah,
least 10 years since I've had it.
right. It's just so like it's so sugary and so acidic.
Hmm.
Like I don't know how to explain it any other way. Like it kind of burns your throat how acidic it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 'cause I'm a smoker too. That like I've been smoking so long that now I know like what hurts my throat
Hmm.
other than the terrible smoke I'm inhaling. Um, it always burned my throat really bad. It was just way too sweet. It always gave me a headache. But yeah, I don't know. They always sold it at McDonald's in a bottle.
Hmm.
I always found that very odd. It's like a thing in the States. Like you could get Sunny D, but it wasn't the McDonald's orange juice. It was they just gave you like a little bottle of Sunny D. It was really weird. I
Huh.
always found that odd. And the not Minute Maid. Well, Minute Maid was big too. Um, but like the Sunny D Punch was big at McDonald's. I remember
Hmm.
that. It was like one of the most common options that I'd see people get was a Sunny D like Punch. It was really weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
Never had,
Didn't
no.
like either
We
one. It's
didn't have
too
any
sugary.
bottles. We have like the orange and red Fruitopia as far as like something similar.
Fruitopia. Oh my
But
god. Yeah.
that's like, yeah, not in a bottle. It's just the soft drink or whatever.
Right. Yeah, no, Sunny D had these little like almost juice bottles, and that was like pretty popular. Well, what does Sunny D come in for you guys? 'Cause Sunny D comes in like a milk carton in the States.
Um, There is like big cartons. Like most recently, I just see them in like little bottles in gas stations and stuff.
Yeah,
Like a 1 liter or something. I think they're kind of squarish bottles. But I haven't seen like the big ones for a long time. Like I think I've only remember
the
seeing them
jugs.
like in gas stations recently.
Yeah,
But
man, gas station. I love gas stations.
yeah,
I just love them. They're so great.
they
Nice
robbed
little
me.
vibe late
But
at night.
yeah,
Well, yeah, they might, but it's okay. It's worth the risk. It's a good place.
no,
Get
not
some
not
good
actually
snacks.
getting robbed. Just the prices. It's a
Oh,
little
well,
painful.
yeah, 100%. Have you ever had to buy like real shit from a gas station? Like shampoo or a
Not had
toothbrush?
to, but it's being done. Um,
Mm,
yeah, it hurts.
it's un it's insane. Like I bought, I think the last time I went to a gas station I bought a toothbrush, toothpaste. I think I got shampoo because I was out and I was like driving home and I was like I don't want to fucking stop at a grocery store. I'll just get it while I'm here. It was like $50. And I was like this is insane. You guys are this is how is this allowed that you're allowed to mark this up this much?
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah. God forbid you actually need to get something like quick while you're on the road, or you're spending fucking half your wallet on it. It's just
Hmm.
insane. But yeah, man, I used to go to the gas station 3 in the morning, get some chips and candy and soda, and just fucking get fat.
Hey
It was
man, you were a
great.
popular guy. The overnight crew all knew you.
Oh, yeah, they did all know me. That was a gift and a curse. I got free sodas. I am actually with the place here now.
Hmm.
They're starting to know me, and like, man, it's kind of sad. Everywhere I've lived this year, and I've lived in technically three
Three
places,
countries.
right?
Yeah.
Three different countries, and every place I've gone to, I've had a place that I go to all the time, and they end up knowing me, and like we get to know each other really well. It's kind of sad. Like the gas station in the States, the 7-Eleven in Thailand, and then here it's this gas station. They gave me a free vape because I was like, I always get vapes, and the girl was like, give him one for free. He comes here all the time, gets the same thing, and I'm like, oh, thank
Nice.
you. But it just felt like I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like they, it's every place I've been, they always know me after like a month because I just fucking go there so much. But you get free shit sometimes. It's nice,
Yeah.
you know. Get
Perks.
to see people.
Consistent
Yeah.
customer.
Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm a consistent, high-paying customer, and Starbucks should fucking
Starbucks.
sponsor
Yep.
me. This podcast should be sponsored by Starbucks.
We'll drink Starbucks each episode.
100%. I'm gonna do it now. Every episode, I'm gonna have a Starbucks cup. I'm gonna say, listen, it's our time. I don't even know. Do they sponsor people? I don't think I've
I
ever
don't think
seen
I've ever
anyone
seen a Starbucks
sponsored by
sponsorship.
Starbucks.
They're doing good enough on
I mean, I've
themselves.
seen like Chipotle and
Hmm.
McDonald's even. I think maybe there was one streamer who had a
Couple.
McDonald's deal.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but that kind of went away, right? Like there aren't a lot of fast food sponsors in
Mm-mm.
gaming and Twitch and all that anymore. Or maybe, well, Envy's sponsored by like Jack in the Box,
Jack in the
right?
Box. Yeah.
But I can't think of any other ones now. Because like Chipotle was a big sponsor, Doritos was a big sponsor.
Yeah.
Like
Mountain
there were a
Dew.
lot of food companies that
I
were,
guess that's
yeah,
Swift
Mountain Dew.
Doritos,
Mountain
but
Dew's still a big sponsor.
yeah.
Yeah, those like fast food sponsorships just like went away. You remember when everyone was getting Chipotle cards? Like
Yep. Yep.
they were getting
They're
free meals for
the
life.
black Chipotle cards, whatever.
Yeah. Mhm. Get them in the mail, got their name on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking cool. Never, my career never got that. I never had that.
No.
I almost got sponsored by Brisk one time, but I was too young,
Back in the
and they
days,
didn't
yeah,
want
when
to take the
Brisk was
risk.
sponsoring stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It was because I drank so much of the Brisk, funny like the Brisk iced tea, lemon iced tea.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you remember this when during BO3, I had a little mini fridge behind me that I would stock up to the brim with like Diet Coke and Brisk and like all this shit.
I don't think we had cams at that time. I don't know if I ever saw.
Maybe not. I mean, I streamed a bunch,
That's fair,
but yeah, maybe
actually.
we didn't have a lot of cam action. But yeah, I took a picture one day and I tweeted it, And I was like, I drink so much of this. I don't remember what I said. And they DM'd me. We went back and forth for like a week. But then they were like, how old are you? And I was like, I was 14. And they were like, no, I'm sorry. I was like, no fucking way. I was so pissed. I even DM'd them when I turned 18. When I turned 18, I DM'd them and I was like, I'm 18 now. But I think Brisk, I don't know what Brisk is doing or where they're at or like
I don't know.
what happened to them. Because they were big for good 4 years there. They were sponsoring
You're
everybody,
sponsoring
making
Optic
new
and shit.
drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the mate or whatever. But they kind of went away. I don't know what happened to them. I don't know. Didn't they get bought out by someone like Pepsi or something like that?
Sounds familiar.
I want to say they got bought by Pepsi, but I don't. I'm not sure about that completely. Um. Well, let's see. I have some topics that I wrote down.
Sure, sure.
Um. Well, this one's a little deep. Let's just do. Who is winning the streaming wars in terms of original content? Apple, Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, etc.
In terms of original content?
Original content. So like HBO Max original, and I guess like it's tough for HBO because they have like DC, just things that are only coming out on said platforms like
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday and Stranger Things, and then I don't know what's Hulu exclusive.
I've never been on
Uh,
Hulu, so I'm not sure.
I think like Handmaid's Tale is a Hulu exclusive.
True.
Um, Dope Sick, was another big show, I think was Hulu exclusive. Um, they've got some good ones on there, I think.
Apple TV, is that where Ted Lasso's at?
It's Ted
There's the
Lasso,
C,
that's
right?
Mythic
I think.
Quest.
Is C, or
Um,
is that Prime?
C, yeah.
Okay.
No, that's Apple. That's Apple, yeah.
Um,
Because I was thinking about this, the reason I wrote it down was like, I was kind of looking at Netflix's original content. I was like, man, like, they have like two shows that are big. Three, maybe two or three. Because, I mean, a lot of them are one-offs, like Dahmer's a one-off. I don't think they're gonna make I haven't seen the rest of Dahmer, but I can't imagine they're making another season of it.
no.
Um, it's another one-off show, and this also leads into another topic, but we'll get into that later. I don't know. I was looking at Netflix's catalog, and I was like, do they really have anything worth it? Like, what are they gonna do when Stranger Things is done? Like, I mean, they have Wednesday, which is probably the next big thing.
Yeah, I got announced for
I don't know how that
season
show
2
ends.
today, I think.
Okay,
So,
that makes
but
sense. And I was gonna say I don't know how it ends, so like I don't
I'm
know if
sure no
that's set
matter
up
how
for
they
more,
ended
but
it, it did so well they were gonna try
they
and
had to.
weasel a second season
Yeah,
into it.
of course, yeah. But like, who do you think? I mean, Paramount Plus actually has some good stuff too. I know that like that's not really talked about much,
Mm-hmm.
but they have Halo, they have that Godfather show, they have I don't know any other ones, but those are the ones I know of.
Yeah.
I
I think
don't
they
know, like
have
who do you think is really like winning that one?
some more like TV stuff. Like I think they have some sort of there's this Yellowstone show or something that I
Oh,
hear a
is
lot
that a
about.
Paramount?
I think if it's not a
Okay.
Paramount one, there's a spin-off that's a Paramount exclusive, I think.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, doesn't Paramount own CBS?
I think so.
Because all those fucking NCIS and Blue Bloods and those are all
Yeah.
CBS, but they're on Paramount Plus, so I think Paramount owns them.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't count those shows because that's kind of
No,
like
that's not. Yeah.
it's like candy. I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
the same thing every episode.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Who's
like who do you
winning?
think's winning that?
It's tough for me because we don't have like all the options here. I think
Mm.
Disney Plus does good for the specific categories that they can do, which like they have like
Yeah,
two categories. It's like Marvel and Star Wars for the original content. And if you like those things,
right.
then you may say Disney Plus,
That
but
is
if you
great.
don't, then there's no reason for you to even have it.
Right.
Um, HBO Max, they have some good stuff, but again, we don't really have that here, so I'm not entirely sure what all they have going on.
I mean,
Most of my like originals are like I don't really know about Netflix, so they probably have the most that
yeah.
like I watch. I don't know if they're the
Mm.
best, but it's definitely the most I've seen.
Mm.
But I mean, I know like Apple TV, like Ted Lasso's supposed to be super good.
Apparently really good.
Like it's won
Yeah.
so many awards. Um,
Hmm.
C is supposed to be good. That other one
Hmm.
that came out with the Parks and Rec guy, I think.
Parks and
Not the
Rec
Parks and Rec
guy.
guy, but well, he's in Parks and Rec, but what's it called? Let me see if I can think about it.
Is it another Apple Plus
Is that?
show?
I think it's Apple Plus. Was it Severance?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
has
yeah, yeah,
like
with Adam
97 on
Scott.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Right.
Um,
No, I haven't seen that either.
but I don't know what streaming platform has like Succession and stuff like that, because I know that's super popular as well, wherever that's from. And
Succession is, I think,
HBO
HBO.
Max, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Um,
Succession is HBO.
but yeah, for me, it's probably Netflix only because that's the one I have the most access to.
Mm.
But I don't
Well,
know.
not now. You got a VPN now, man. You can
I
explore.
can explore, but
You got all these new platforms you can check out now.
hmm. But yeah, I think for now I gotta stick with Netflix.
Stick
But
with
I don't know if they're
Netflix.
making the best shows. It's just I'm sure they're not, but they've
Yeah.
got some good ones.
I I don't know. You know, like it's weird because I'm not I guess when you look at it, I don't watch a lot of original content from certain platforms. Like I did watch back in the I think I've ingested, is that the right word? Ingested more Netflix content than I have any other platform
Hmm.
just because of like I don't know, like I used to watch Korean dramas with my girlfriend and those were Netflix originals and I used to watch like I guess Alice in Borderland's a Netflix original.
Yep.
Um you know, so there's some good shit. Or I guess fucking Squid Game was a Netflix original, right?
Yep.
So I don't know if Netflix has. I think I agree. Like I don't know if they have the best shit, but they're such a behemoth that like you end up watching their things anyway because
Yeah.
like I would argue that a lot of these shows aren't that great and like it's so like you'll notice every Netflix show that's kind of fucking kind of catered towards teens but kind of adult ends up being the biggest thing in the world for a month.
Hmm.
And I don't think it's because it's good. I think that it's just everyone has Netflix.
Yeah.
And so everyone has access to it. Whereas like if a really good show comes out on Paramount, they definitely don't have Netflix numbers, so you're not gonna have as many people talking about it just based on like sheer amount of like people
I
watching.
know.
So I think it's just Netflix shit gets way more attention, but I'll agree I don't think it's the best stuff. I think the best would probably be um I guess either HBO or Hulu because Hulu has a deal with Fox or like FXX,
Hmm.
and like they have a lot of shows that come out on Hulu exclusively through Fox. Um, that I think is, I mean, like The Simpsons comes out on Hulu. It's Always Sunny comes out on Hulu. Sure, there's some other Fox shows that come out on there as well that are pretty
Hmm.
big. Um, but HBO, like if you think about HBO Max, I don't know if House of Dragon is an HBO Max or if that's just HBO. Like, does that come out on the channel still, or is it
On TV,
a Max exclusive?
I don't know.
Because if it's not, if it doesn't come out on the TV channel, then they win. Because like they've got fucking Game of Thrones, they've got House of Dragons, they've got um all the new DC stuff coming out on HBO Max. So like
Hmm.
they might kind of win that, but I don't know if House of Dragon is HBO Max exclusive or if that's also coming out on the TV channel. I don't have TV anymore, so
Yeah.
I don't know. But if it is an exclusive, then I think HBO Max wins. But Crunchyroll, I don't know. Like, are we gonna? You have to
Mm.
think about like, do those count as a streaming service with original streaming content? Because there are Crunchyroll originals, right?
Um, there are a couple,
So like, do you
but
count
like
those? Or like,
there's
are
like
those
there's a
aired on
couple that
TV though?
like they've actually made themselves. Which
Mm,
I don't know if it's an original or if we're counting like exclusives, like they're only streaming on Crunchyroll. But
right.
I don't know. Um, I feel like it's I don't know. I'm less inclined
It's
to
just
call it
different.
originals, but
Yeah. It's a different game.
different game. Yeah,
I guess because most of it is was a manga first, right? So there's an original kind. It's almost like comic book stuff.
yeah,
Like there's already a canon and an original story, and then
yeah.
it's adapted.
I mean, you could say the
Whereas
same thing
like
about like Alice in Borderland as well,
I suppose,
technically.
yeah, I guess
But
so.
I guess there's only like a couple originals I know of, like Tower of God, where like Crunchyroll went out and actually like got people to make the anime. I think like they didn't just stream it; they like got it made.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of their other ones that they've actually done that for have been like too successful. So I don't know.
What was that one show where they were like not boxing, but it was in a boxing ring? Do you remember that show? It got canceled after the first season.
Is it in a show or an anime?
Anime show.
Anime. They were boxing in a ring.
It was really weirdly animated, and like they would fight certain people, and it was in this
Oh,
big
yeah,
boxing
yeah.
ring.
Got
Do you
a high
remember what I'm
school.
talking about? God of High School.
Yeah,
That was a weird one.
yeah,
It just popped in my head thinking about Crunchyroll originals that like didn't work.
yeah.
That was such a weird show. That one and what was the other one? The Demon King show?
It comes out tomorrow, season two.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, we have to watch it. Bro, the baby
The baby
scene,
scene is
undefeated.
still in my head. I was thinking about
Undefeated.
that earlier when you were talking about the dude cackling, like, or you said like the husband, like the dad would laugh at the baby, but like the baby laughed at that cackle. Oh
Bro,
Lord.
that shit, that shit was oh, just reminded me. I have another story to tell,
Mm,
but it's kind of dark, and I don't know if I should tell it, but I'm gonna tell it.
might as well.
So, this happened last night, actually. I was getting ready for bed. It was kind of early. It was like 9 or 10 or something. And I kept hearing like loud thuds, right? I was like, that's weird. Like, and like, this is a really active neighborhood with kids. So like, there's kids playing in the fucking street, super annoying. They're
Hmm.
playing fucking soccer all night, screaming. So like, I just figure some kids stumbling home, whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
I'm hearing thuds, and it's from like the house over, right? I'm hearing like these thuds, and I almost feel like I'm hearing someone like getting hurt. But I'm like, I must, like maybe they're watching TV, blah blah, right? But then I hear boom, and I hear the front door open, and I'm like, that's weird. And like the way that this house is set up, you can look out the front window,
Hmm.
like, and it shows the street and the other person's front door. Yo, I don't think I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen some shit. This was pretty bad. I don't know if I should be saying that. Anyway, I'll say it. It's too late. We're too late into the story. And I see this guy and this girl come outside, and they're clearly arguing. Right?
Hmm.
I'm like, oh god, here we go. And like, I've been in too many spots where I've been the guy who calls the cops and like gets involved. You know what I mean? Like, indirectly gets involved just by even calling the cops.
Yep.
And then I always end up getting fucked for it. Like the cops end up getting called on me for nothing because they're pissed off that I've called the cops on them, right? So I was like, I'm not gonna. It's not my business. It's not my thing. If someone else wants to do it, they can. It's just not my business. Like, I know you should really step up if something like that's happening,
Yep.
and I usually do, but I just like every time I've done that, I get fucked over for it, and I'm like, I can't be the nice guy this time. I just can't. And I see them like, and he like grabs her hair and opens the car door and like shoves her in, closes the door. He gets in the passenger seat, and then I kind of like, I'm like, okay, they're gonna drive off, right?
Hmm.
And the car turns on, and I kind of just I go back to bed. I'm like, this isn't, whatever. They're gonna drive off and argue for a night, whatever.
Yep.
Then I keep hearing like the car outside, and it's like staying there. I'm like, that's okay. What's going on? I go out, and I'm not kidding. This guy has this girl's hair like in his hand, and he is smashing her against the fucking dashboard, dude. Like full Tarantino movie, just
Him.
clock, 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 like just annihilating this girl, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like I'm just sitting in the window, like okay, like do I call the? This is like assault. This is really bad.
Yeah.
And then I saw a neighbor outside on the phone, so I'm guessing, they were calling the cops. But it was crazy. Like I haven't seen anything like that
No.
ever. I don't think it was pretty traumatic. But I guess that just kind of, you should call people. I did the wrong thing. Really, at the end of the day, I did the wrong thing. I should have called the cops myself
Yeah.
before that even happened. But like, dude, there were times in the States where like, I think you remember like
Yeah.
people above me would get in
Upstairs
fights and like
neighbors. Yeah.
people next, yeah. Every upstairs neighbor I've had in the States, dude always beat up his girlfriend, and like I have called the cops before, but it's like I think they know that like who's gonna be hearing this. Okay, it's got to be the person under me because I'm not like we never shared a wall with anybody. So it was like they knew who was calling the cops. So I always had the fucking like, I'd be watching TV at night in my living room, which isn't even near a bedroom, and they'd say like they'd hear me screaming in my bedroom, and then a cop would come to my door, and I'm just like, so it's like I don't want to get involved, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it becomes that weird thing where you're just always pissed at each other. But realistically, you should, if you see something like that happen, you should probably call the cops before
Yeah.
he becomes a fucking wrestler and just absolutely destroys someone. But
Yeah.
but don't abuse your significant other. Moral of the story. But have you ever seen anything like that? Like I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
shit in my day, but like stuff like that always, I don't know, it always jars you a little bit,
Mhm.
because you never expect to see anything like that ever, and then it happens sometimes in life, and you're like, oh, right, like I forgot this shit happens a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday was a weird day, huh? I'm realizing it was a weird day. Anyway, you have any other topics? Let's get off of like domestic
Off of
abuse. That was
domestic
not a good
abuse.
place to go.
Um.
Let's let's go off of that one.
Um. Okay. Where do we want to start? Let's talk about
Got some good ones.
AI and robots because I know we
Mm.
talked about this a bit last week after the podcast.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny because like the day after we talked about it. So anyways, there's the OpenAI thing that I showed you where you can ask it questions and it'll
Right.
answer. It can write code for you. It can write like you can write marketing stuff. It can answer homework questions. It can do like whatever. I mean, not
Everything.
perfectly,
Yeah.
but like it can make
It
up
does it pretty
companies for
fucking
you.
well.
Like I've seen people on Twitter talking.
Mhm.
So that's pretty crazy. And then just the other day, there's an AI bot an AI VTuber that streams on Twitch now, and it's an AI and it plays games and it responds to chat and forms its personality around that. So of course there's clips of chat making it a horrible human being, but yeah,
Of course.
like and
Yeah.
getting it to say stuff. But it's crazy to me that we have an AI like streaming on Twitch that is learning through the chat. I can't remember what game I saw it
How to build
playing.
its
I was
personality.
playing Minecraft when I saw it, and it said that it's easier at other games, and it's like it takes a bit longer to like understand how games like Minecraft work.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy that that's even a thing that's happening.
That's a thing.
I haven't watched it
That's
since, but I
so.
kind of want to go back and check in on it just to see what else it's like.
That's really. Yeah. That's kind of scary to me.
Yeah,
That scares me. That makes me think like, oh, dude, we're getting into this next phase of like humanity that's gonna start to get kind
like
of
what if you get to the
like,
point where you can't like you don't advertise it as an AI VTuber, but
and
like
you can't
it
tell
just
who's real and fake.
yeah, like I don't know how much more complex the AI would have to become to where you can't tell that it's a real
Right.
person. But
Well, I mean, if you think about it, dude, like, and it kind of brings back the point we were talking about last podcast about these characters,
hmm
like these people put on these characters.
yep,
I don't see why an advanced AI couldn't be as entertaining as a real streamer. If anything, they'd be more entertaining because you don't have this like period of time where you have to get off and
hmm
there's a whole energy thing involved and
yep,
a streamer can get pissed off or that goes away. So like what happens when you it's almost like creating an athlete robot, right?
Yeah.
That's like it doesn't get tired, it always hits a three, it's gonna dunk every fucking time. It's kind of like that same thing, right? Like, what if you create a perfect content creator?
hmm
It never gets tired, it's always on, it's always making jokes. Like, that freaks me the fuck out. Who like said? Do you know anything about like how it got set up? Like, it has to be like a company, right? It can't be
Um,
just like some
no,
dude.
I think it was some dude. Um, because I saw the news guy Jake posted a thing on it, so I went to check out the stream.
Mm,
And yeah, I was playing Minecraft, um, talking to chat, and then I saw like more stuff about what people were getting it to say, and it
mm,
was some messed up stuff. But yeah, I don't know really too much about it without looking some stuff up. But I don't know.
yeah,
It's
it's
interesting
yeah,
times. Yeah.
it's freaky. I don't know. This actually brings me into another thing that I saw the other day about because I mean, if you unless you live under a rock, you know that Elon bought Twitter, right?
Yep.
And one of the biggest things about him buying Twitter was he was going to back out of the deal because Twitter was not telling him how many of their accounts aren't real.
hmm
So he was asking for like how many actual people do you have, and they kind of didn't know. And I saw a stat the other day that I think it was by a former FBI guy or something like that, or someone who had worked on figuring out the numbers like independently.
hmm
And he was saying the number of bot accounts on Twitter could be as high as 80%. And if you think about that number, about like 80 80% of Twitter could be fake
hmm
and agenda based, and you get into like countries buying farms. A lot of these countries have farms set up, and
Yep.
it's a weird thing, and it kind of goes into that whole robot thing of like, well, if people stop, like that guy could have created that VTuber and not said anything,
hmm
and just people probably would have thought it was a real person after like a certain amount of time, right? And it just gets to that. And then I thought about like, well, then how do we determine what views are real?
Yeah.
How do we determine like, and it made me think of, and I'm not saying that this is the case, but I was thinking like, let's say Andrew Tate, for example. If you're, let's say, a group, I'm not going to name a group, I'm just going to say a group,
hmm
because I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but like, if you're a group of people and you say, we like this narrative, we want this to grow, we want this to become popular, we want more eyes on this, how can you tell if someone's not getting like view boosted by a bunch of bots?
Yeah. I mean,
Like, I'm sure maybe there are algorithms in place that I don't know about,
hmm
but you'd have to think at a certain point, right? If 80% of Twitter is bots, how are you? Surely there's a shitload of like view bots, right?
hmm
So it just made me think about like, oh, groups of people could totally boost a narrative just based off of like, hey, let's pay for 1 million views and then let's get it on an algorithm and then, we'll hit 5 million real people. It's just a weird thought about like when you really think about, and I feel like it sounds insane, but we're at a point now. Like if you would have told me this 10 years ago, I would have been like, you're a fucking crazy person. Like a bunch of bots, like fake robots making Twitter posts like about a certain political group or something. Like it's insane.
hmm
But we're at a point now where you have to actually start looking at it and go like, oh, maybe there's something to this. Like maybe this is actually getting weird.
Yeah.
And especially with Twitter, I mean, there's been a lot of things coming out about Twitter that were really interesting. About like a certain government maybe going to Twitter and asking them to suppress certain things that they didn't agree with, which is kind of a big deal in the States, right?
hmm
Like that's kind of against the whole thing of the whole state's system. So it's interesting when you start to think about that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. And it makes me worry a little bit because I think like how will you ever be able to tell? We're at a point now where everyone uses social media, right?
Yeah.
And whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, like someone's on one of them. But
hmm
how can you determine? Like, and then it gets to a point of like, how can you determine what's being said is not then also paid for in a sense? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how much information is not real? How much information is real? Like, are these people who are getting canceled actually being canceled, or is it 60% bots, right?
Mhm.
Like, that's a scary thing of like, what if you say something wrong and a political group doesn't like it and they just decide to fuck you in the ass with a bunch of bots and like, people really easily influenced. If you see 6,000 posts from a bunch of bot accounts saying this guy assaulted someone, are you gonna not agree with the 6,000 people that are posting all this shit, or are you going to go like, oh, well, I don't know if that's real? You're gonna
Yeah.
go, oh, wow, he assaulted someone,
Mhm.
right? I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying, for example,
Yeah,
like
it could.
it could definitely happen, and that's fucking weird and scary. To me, it's scary because
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know. I always put myself in the shoes of someone who's like, if you're a big person and you wake up one day and you really didn't do anything, but someone had it out for you, maybe you made fun of a political person, or you never know, right?
Mhm.
How much of that is like, um, what's it called, orchestrated, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird. It's scary.
Hmm.
But I don't know. Hopefully, I never get to a point that, or neither of us get to a point where people are orchestrating cancellations of us. But
Won't be hard,
you
but
never know. Yeah, I mean, there's shit you could find to cancel us easy. You wouldn't have to orchestrate anything. You
mhm.
could just post an old clip.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. But I don't know. It's weird. And I also, this was another topic of like, we don't view famous people right now and celebrities, and I don't, the word celebrity has changed a lot. We were even talking about last podcast about like
Mhm.
how the movie star doesn't really exist anymore. Well, the word celebrity doesn't really exist anymore either because everyone is kind of famous. So it's it's weird that we don't view them as people anymore.
Mhm.
I don't know where, and maybe we never did. That's the whole thing about celebrity is that they're not people. They're like these higher beings who are super attractive and super rich, and we just don't view them as like actual people. But it feels like now more than ever, there's this weird disconnect that's maybe even more now than it used to be, where like, for example, like someone will get canceled, right?
Yep.
And maybe I guess an example would be like the Rex Orange County stuff. And I'm not like I think he was not guilty officially, and he's fine, and he got out of the thing, and they said like they had proof that he didn't assault her, blah blah. Blah. I don't know, but legally he wasn't guilty, right?
Yeah.
From my awareness, I think, unless I'm getting that wrong, but everywhere I saw was that he wasn't guilty, and he put out a statement saying he had proof that he wasn't guilty. But everyone like again, it's like guilty until proven innocent, right? But then this was one of the first times I saw where the person was proven innocent, and people were saying, "Well, don't believe that he was proven innocent."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wait, what are we doing then?" Like, if okay, you're getting accused of sexual assault, right?
Mhm.
In the eyes of most people, especially the way things are now on social media, is you're done.
Yeah.
You did it. That's it. Like, there's no, it's like, oh, this girl said this, so we have to believe it. He definitely fucking did that. What a terrible person. I can't believe I listened to his music. I can't believe I did it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
people go crazy about it. And this was the first time that I saw where officially, legally, he was proven innocent, where a lot of these actually don't even get to a courtroom. Like, a lot of people get canceled and nothing really ever comes out of it. It's not like they ever have a lawsuit. Like, a lot of people just get canceled and there's no official anything.
Mhm.
But this was the first time I saw legal, he's good, he didn't do anything, and people were saying, well, don't believe the courts. And I was like, wait, what are we doing then? Like, if so he's just guilty right away, and like, And it's just this weird disconnect. Like, oh, he's just not a person anymore. Like, this person had a long career, worked very hard to get to a certain spot, and now because some things were said, and again, I don't know, maybe he did do these things. Maybe I don't fucking know the guy, and we don't. No one else does either,
Yeah.
right? And it's weird that people make the assumption of like, I'm just gonna ruin this person's career, and that's it, and then you move on next week. But it's so weird. Like you do all this damage to this person, but then you move on, and you don't really deal with anything you caused, and this person's life is ruined. And it's just so odd to me that we have this weird disconnect now, where like we don't view anybody as a person anymore. Like we have no compassion as like a
Yeah.
group of people anymore. It doesn't exist. It's just fuck you. If you make an apology, you did it because you're kind of admitting it if you're apologizing.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird culture, and I don't know. It's just like I hope that changes at some point. But for now, it was just like the first time I saw all of these people saying like, oh well, courts are really biased, and like, oh well, don't believe everything you hear. And it's like, well, if you say that, then you canceled him. Don't believe everything you hear. You fucking canceled him off of something you heard. It's just wild to me.
Yeah.
It's wild to me. And then I don't know if you saw the stuff with oh my god, I forgot his name. The Bills guy who got
Damar
hardly
Hamlin.
injured, Damar. I don't know if you saw what was going on like shortly after,
Hmm.
but people were talking about relating it to the COVID vaccine.
I
Did you see
I
any of
didn't
that?
see the people relating. I saw people tweeting that people who are relating are like dumb, but I didn't actually see a tweet
Mhm.
of them relating it.
I saw a lot of tweets
Yeah.
saying like, "Oh, but no one talks about how he got the COVID vaccine, and
Yeah.
that's why his heart stopped." And it was like,
Bro.
what are we doing here? You know?
Hmm.
And I know COVID's a tricky word now. Like we'll probably get fucking demonetized for that if we ever get monetized. Like the word now is even a bit of a like fucking missile. Like you can't really touch it.
Hmm.
But dude, it's just so we live in such a weird time. I don't know. We just live in a weird time where it's like people with some of the worst opinions in the world can then find other people who have the same shitty opinions and like finally have a place to fit in, and then that opinion just like grows to crazy proportions, you know?
Yeah, they get the biggest platforms.
Yeah, I mean, and you just find a bunch of people who agree with you, and there's kind of no stopping them because like what the fuck are you gonna tell someone who has an opinion like that on Twitter? You
Hmm.
know, it's like you're gonna DM them and be like, "You're wrong," by the way. Like this is not gonna fucking work.
No.
That's not how that works. But yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. Twitter in general and kind of social media is just a weird thing.
Hmm.
But that blew like three of my topics in the ass. So
Nice.
that's good, I suppose. Excuse me. Oh, I have a good one.
Okay, okay.
What are me and Saucy's favorite aspect of each other as COD players slash strongest teammate attributes? That's a
Oh,
good
damn. Were you thinking about this, but like
one. Mhm.
before the podcast? Because I need some time to. Strongest
Yeah, I thought about it not too much
aspects
before the podcast, but I just
as
wrote it down.
what was it, as a COD player or?
Or a teammate, like
Hmm.
just as a teammate
Okay.
over the years, because we've been playing for
Hmm. Hmm.
a long time.
I can give you my worst aspect, but no.
What would be my worst aspect if you could? Because it was supposed to be like I'm supposed to say your
No, I know,
what,
I know.
what
I
I
was
think your
just
best aspect is. What do you think my worst
your
aspect
worst aspect.
is? Yeah.
Hmm. It'd be easier if we had like played COD recently.
Right. And you could
I could
it's
like
fresh.
yeah.
Surely there's something over the past like 7 years that you can think of. Like
I don't
he
know,
fucking does that thing. It's so bad.
but it's not like it's. I don't know. I can't think of anything specific. I think it's like a general problem with our group. Just relating to
Mm,
COD is
yeah.
like assuming other people know what you're thinking, or like getting angry before and then calling out or something like that. You're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
the clear play, so you make it, but like you don't let people know you're making it, and then like I do this a lot, and
Right.
then I'm like pissed. I'm like, why didn't you fucking follow me? Or like, why don't you do
Yeah.
this? And it's like I never told
Right.
them.
Right. You never communicated
Yeah.
it.
Um, so I don't know. I don't know. I think it'd be easier if we had played recently, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess we haven't played in a long time.
What would you say my worst one is? Because I have a one that's like clearly in my mind, like this is the worst, and I try and get better at it, but like,
Your worst aspect as a teammate. I don't know, cause um you don't really get upset like some of the other people we play with. Like you don't get to that point of upset where you just stop trying.
hmm
Like some of the people we play with like some of the people we play with sometimes like they just get upset and they'll run out in the middle of the street and get killed and like they
yeah.
just get upset and it's fine. I mean I do shit like that
Oh
too,
yeah, yeah.
but I can't think of what your like worst aspect is if I had to maybe getting you do get quiet like if we are getting absolutely dicked in the
Yeah,
ass,
yeah.
you'll get real quiet and it's like just no getting through to you.
hmm
It's just like the map's done. Like there's just no saving it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's probably if something that I could notice over the years. That's probably the worst one.
Nice.
But also depends who we're playing with. Cause like in doubles, I don't remember that ever happening. But
No.
if we're in like a
If you have more
4v4 or
people, and yeah,
3v3, yeah, I notice that a lot more. And that could be the thing that you're saying of like you get frustrated because someone should have made a clear play that you thought was like,
hmm
of course, this is what I'm doing, so this person should do this.
yeah,
So maybe you get frustrated and that's why you get quiet because you're just like pissed off about that.
yeah.
But
I was gonna say for me, I think I definitely don't take criticism well at all, constructive or not. I'm
mm,
like someone's like,
mm,
man, like I think the smart play would be to do this. Like I get pissed at them, like more than I
yeah,
should, depending
for
if
sure.
it's the first time maybe.
Yeah,
But
you take it as like a
yeah,
jab.
I'm like, nah, because I every
Yeah,
time someone says that, I'll be like, nah, like this was the better play. I'll try and explain it, but like half the time, I was just brain dead, you know.
yeah.
Best aspect. Um, let's see. It's a good question. I feel like you're more knowledgeable about like a lot of the things, at least like COD wise. I
Mm,
mean, that's when I would think teammate wise. Feel like
mm.
you have a very good knowledge of just like what's going on around the map or the game. Um,
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
you're pretty level-headed. Depending.
I am now.
Yeah,
I am
recently,
now.
recently.
Yeah,
Back
the
in the
past
day,
few years.
you
Back
know.
in the day, I was pretty fucking mad. But we also
But
played with people that frustrated me a lot.
yeah.
Like playing with Matt. Playing with Matt,
Mhm.
I, I just would lose my fucking mind. I mean, not that that's an excuse, but
No, but
yeah, I'm more
recently
level-headed
I'm
now.
trying to think
But
like recently. But I don't know. I have to spend some deep thought on that.
yeah, it's a tough question. I mean, we've been playing a long time, and we've grown a lot as people,
Mhm.
and like the way we play COD changed, and the game's also changed.
Yeah.
So like, there was a time where you didn't really have to put a crazy amount of thought, and you just kind of had to win gunfights.
Mhm.
Whereas like now in S&D, which is what we played most of the time,
Yeah.
you kind of have to really be like have good map awareness, know the spots, understand where nades are gonna come. It's like way more what I started playing competitively. Like I
Yeah.
started playing in COD 4, and that's when you had to like. It was kind of like those kind of games where you had to have this like map awareness. My camera's out of focus. I'm gonna fucking lose it. There we go. You had to have this map awareness of where nades were gonna fall, where
Yep.
this spot was. It became less about gun skill and more about spots in S&D anyway. Respawn's a different story in this game. This game's just a fucking nightmare in respawn. But so I think I benefited from that, but it just yeah, this game's different. I don't know how. I don't know what I started with there. I don't remember where I was going with that. I don't remember how we got there. But
uh, I I don't know. I was talking about you knowing the game.
or you were saying I was like knowledgeable
Yeah.
of the
Like
map. Yeah.
the
Well, that's
strategist.
always something I was super nerdy about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always sometimes super nerdy
Yeah,
about.
like I feel
Like,
like even
I'm
like
always thinking about the
back
map.
to World War II, like you'd have our break off strats. Like we playing CTF, like two guys go this way, you know,
Mm,
like one go this way.
yeah.
Like You're a good,
Yeah,
good commander of the team, of the troops.
good little coach.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess what's your most your positive trait? I mean, it changed over the years, right? Cuz like in BO3, right? I knew like you were that kind of teammate where what are you?
Sorry.
In
No remakes.
BO3 like I knew that you could like on fucking infection, right? Nobody's gonna know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But there's this rock on infection. You could jump up on the right side with an M8,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
I had that whole lane.
Yep.
Well, like if I was getting shit on in that spot, I knew I could send you there and you'd get a kill. Like you were like a big slayer in that game. Like it was
Yeah.
kind of guaranteed kills from you. So as a teammate, it was real nice to be like, all right, well, Matt's running mid. It's not working. Let's swap him with Sauce. Sauce can go mid instead. He'll probably get a kill, right?
Hmm.
You run a VMP mid infection and just destroy people.
Hmm.
But then, what was after BO3?
I
Infinite
dub.
Warfare?
Yeah.
Infinite Warfare was a little different, but kind of similar. Like, if we just gave you, what was it, a K bar?
Yeah.
It was like the weird sub AR. I think
K-bar
it was a
was
K bar.
the AR is like faster than the
Yeah.
M4.
If we were on retail and we just put a K-bar in your hands and sent you on the street, you were getting the jump shot kill like easy. Or a sniper on B side, like it was easy.
Hmm.
But then the game kind of changed a lot with World War II, and then it became a lot more like you had to be a lot more careful.
Yeah.
And so then I appreciated your like you adjusted to that pace really well with that game. Whereas I could see a lot of people who went from jetpacks to World War II did not understand that pace switch. Like for someone who really played a lot more competitively on jetpacks, your pace switch was pretty fucking good. Because there were a lot of people who got on that game and you'd see it, they would just run at shit, get killed by a fucking STG or a bar
Yeah.
and get upset.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, we're not playing fucking BO3 anymore. You can't just like wall run an angle and peek it. It just doesn't
Gotta
exist
gotta
anymore.
value that life.
Yeah, you gotta just fucking sit back and wait and play angles. And that was like, I saw a lot of people struggle with that change. I did too,
Oh yeah.
especially with the PP, the the PPSH.
PSH.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that shit made me want to run through shit, but like it never worked. You had to be careful.
Hmm.
Um, especially the way the ARs in that game. But yeah, I'd say like you've just been like at the start it was like easy to count on you to slay, and then later it was easy to count on you to like you were always going to be alive at the end of the round most of the time because you
Hmm.
played your life very smart, and that was really good for that game. But yeah,
Nice.
but yeah, you definitely lost full a few times
Oh yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. There were some times where I was like, "Uh-oh, it's also getting quiet. Like this is not good."
Game's over.
Because we're really like, and I'm not trying to take away from the people we play with because I love them to death. Everyone we've ever played with, it's a teammate, it's someone we played with before, spent a lot of time with, you know.
Hmm.
Even Matt, and I hated Matt's play style. I hated everything about it, but it was still fun, right?
Yeah.
But me and you were really the people who were gonna communicate what was going on in the round most of the time.
Hmm.
Alex would chip in once in a while for sure. He definitely. Now his strats are terrible. Strats are awful. Alex's strats are the worst strats in the world.
So
I
bad
swear to
they
God.
work.
Sometimes, dude.
Hmm.
Sometimes. There were some Gibraltar S&Ds that were insane. But we were really the people who would communicate a lot about what was going to happen during the round, what someone should do. So, but when you got quiet, it was like, oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just stuck here, and no one's talking. Like, what the fuck am I going to do?
Hmm.
But no, yeah, could always count on you for a kill, and you changed the pace up pretty well. But I was, man, like, I miss playing. I think if we would have played, if you got me on respawn more, bro, we were gonna be winning a lot, dude. I
Yeah.
was so much better as a respawn player. Like, I just, especially on those jetpack games, dude. Like,
Hmm.
oh man, because I was a good respawn player. I was an okay S&D player back in the day, but I was way better at respawn, even on like Modern Warfare 3 and COD 4. And it was like Demolition. I was way better on respawn. I was way better on respawn. But
Yeah.
we never fucking played it.
Yeah.
We never played it. We never had enough people. So we always played S&D, and I was just like getting shit on all the time. I had to play the fucking like karma roll the whole time.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, I don't know. I was the Barlow of the team,
Barla.
I think, for a long time there. Yeah, I think I took the Barlow position for a while.
Well, time for a brilliant segue into one of my topics, which is your first introduction to esports or competitive gaming. Because I know yours happened a
Um,
lot younger than it did for me.
yeah, I was young and I was really bad. I was young and I was really bad. My introduction to esports was probably, I'm trying to think of like the first time. Do you mean like playing a competitive or like just even seeing it, like just
It could be
instant,
both.
like the first time I
Mine
saw it?
was like in
Okay.
the same year, same game, so like,
Right, right. Well, I kind of got introduced to competitive StarCraft back in the day.
hmm
Someone I knew would watch the StarCraft tournaments. And that was around the same time as Halo 2, I think, or
hmm
Halo 3, maybe Halo end of Halo 2. And Halo 2 had a really good rank system, and Halo 3 had an okay rank system as well. And those were I got I played Halo 2 ranked, was really bad, got shit on, just got destroyed every game. I was really young. I mean, Halo 2, I was probably fucking like 6 or 7. I was so young.
yeah,
Um, Halo 3 came out, played Halo 3 ranked, and then I played COD. Played COD 4. I think COD 4 was '08, '09, something like that,
sounds about
around
right.
that time. Black Ops 1 was 2011.
Yep.
So it was, I think COD 4 was before Black Ops 1, like the game before it.
hmm
So played COD 4, was playing pubs one day, and I was just like a pub stomper during. I don't know why I was good at that game, but I was really good at pubs in that game. And I met a group of guys. I forget their names. They were so weird. It was, like XX underscore snipe fucking. I don't know. It was some
Yeah.
weird name. And the guy was like, "Hey, like we're gonna play GBs," and like he was seeing that I was like kind of slaying out. And he was like, "You wanna play GBs with us?" And I was like, "What the fuck is it? Like, what are you talking about?"
hmm
And we got on GB. I did okay on the team, and that's when I really like started playing tournaments and a little bit of wagers and just started playing a lot. Like just played every day for fucking hours, and then kind of never stopped. Black Ops 1 I played a little less. Black Ops 1 competitive was kind of dead at the time. It just wasn't. I mean, like unless you were in the States, because I wasn't in the States at the time.
Yeah.
Um, so unless you were in the States and you could go to like UMG Philly or whatever the fuck North Carolina, like you weren't really gonna be playing competitive. Like not a lot of people were really playing GBs and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean that was my introduction. Like was just kind of happened randomly. Like one day it was in a pub and the guy was like, "Want to play GBs?" And that's kind of how it went. Then I won a gold that year.
hmm
I won a gold in Modern Warfare 3, and then I think I won a gold in Ghosts. I think. I want to say Ghosts was the last game I won a gold in, which is kind of sad. But you know, uh, yeah, I think it was Ghosts. It was a UMG tourney, I think. Was the gold I won because UMG was kind of becoming a thing around that
UMG,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Back when they had actual tourneys and
Um,
stuff.
oh yeah, UMG was awesome. UMG was so cool because like GBs, I don't think GBs ever had wagers.
Not right away.
I don't think there
If you
was a
wanted to play for
website that
money, you
had
had to
wagers
go
really.
to UMG.
Yeah,
At least around like Black Ops
and
3
like
time.
yeah, and people back in the day, like a wager was like you just had to trust that they were gonna get your PayPal, and
Yeah.
like that never fucking worked out ever. So, um, yeah, good times, man. But you came a little later in the game. Like
hmm
you were BO3 was like your debut, right?
Yeah. I didn't really know anything about esports, that was a thing. I
Yeah.
played like well over 3,000 like S&D matches in Black Ops 2. So I was
Hmm.
pretty good at S&D and just like how people play and stuff. And then
Yeah.
Black Ops 3 came out and I started playing that and then they had like ranked play like right at the main menu. sort of for multiplayer.
Right.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, like what is this? So then I got in there, and
Mm.
then I got shit on. But then I was like, oh, like these are the guns that people are using.
Right.
So then I
Yeah.
started like using just the M8 or just the VMP. And then yeah, so then I was like, I was playing rank play for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I was in class at school one day. It was a woodworking class, and I hated woodworking class. So I
Yeah.
pulled out my phone, and there was just like I went to the category just Black Ops 3 to check. Like I
Mm.
didn't really watch Twitch really, but I don't know.
Right.
I went on there. What was it? YouTube? I don't even know. And then the COD League was streaming. I was like, oh, what's this?
Right.
And so
Yeah.
yeah, my introduction to esports really was like, oh,
Just
Call of
random
Duty,
like
yeah. And so then
playing ranked and
I
then
just
checking it
continued
out
to
on
play
Twitch.
ranked, and then yeah, COD League, and yeah, like I think I did a bit of like ranked play in BO2, but not enough. Like
Yeah.
I didn't consider myself like a competitive player. Like I maybe did less than 20
Yeah.
games, like because I was
Well,
just
rank play
public
was
S and
weird in
D.
BO2
Yeah.
because like rank play was like you had most people were playing the team mode because there was like a team rank.
Yep.
Kids were grinding that shit like
They'd
crazy
have their
because you had to
custom
qualify for
emblem.
champs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So like, well, how did
BO3.
you get into GBs then? Like, who got
Uh,
you? Was it? It couldn't have been me.
I think Life Guy got me into GBs about Life Guy or Brandon, probably. I think Life Guy though. Life Guy was the first guy I played with. So probably
Mm.
like 2 weeks before I started playing with you guys. I
Yeah.
think I did duos with Life Guy.
Mm.
But I think it might have been UMG actually. But that sort of thing,
Um.
I think I started on
Yeah.
UMG.
UMG. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, Black Ops 3 was like when you join a group chat and there'd be 8 people in there,
You
and then you'd
fuck with other
switch and
people
just
now.
start
Yeah.
playing like threes or twos with someone. But
Right.
I'm thinking it was Life Guy that got me into it.
Sounds about right. I feel like you already knew about it when
Hmm.
we played.
Yeah, because I think I just joined
But
up your team with
yeah.
Kenny.
Yeah. Yeah. Lord. Yeah.
But yeah, Black Ops 3
Good times.
was where it
Black Ops
began.
3, man. Yeah.
Because I didn't really play Halo
Crazy.
competitive. I had one or two Halo games, and like I didn't really play them. I think I maybe played like 2 hours of a story one time, but
Yeah.
they weren't great at advertising ranked or esports back in the day.
No, not really.
And
No,
not,
you had to look for
but
it.
it didn't make the money that it
It
makes
wasn't
now.
like front
So
page.
yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, man, it's weird that like. Yeah, it makes me sad that I had been playing so much longer than you, and you were already better than me. Like, that shit breaks my. Oh, it fucking
Like
hurts.
Black Ops 2, like to me, FaZe was a trick shotting group, not an esports team, and Optic was like a lesser known trick shotting group, and like that was
Well,
my.
I mean,
I mean,
you're not
they,
wrong.
yeah, like at least for FaZe, but like I didn't even know
Yeah.
about the esports. I was just like, oh, like these guys gonna be sniping in the pub if I saw their logo.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
No, yeah. I mean, at that time, like, yeah, FaZe and Optic were just sniper teams, like sniper YouTubers.
mhm,
Hex would post the sniper montages on Optic Nation, I think
mhm,
was the channel. I think that's what it was called.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean they basically were just sniper teams until end of BO2, and then like Champs did well, and people started watching then, and then Scump became a big streamer, YouTuber, and Nadeshot started popping up, like,
mhm,
'cause that was then like Optic House, and then once the Optic House happened, it was like they went on this crazy tear of streaming Minecraft every day and like having all this content. So yeah, you're not wrong in saying that like those teams were basically sniper teams. Like nobody really knew about comp
yeah,
anything. Like not really. I mean, StarCraft comp was big, but then it died off, and Halo comp really never was big. Honestly, like it really never was that big.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, yeah. I mean, they basically were just sniper teams. But yeah, it's interesting. Like yeah, different. It's weird when you look back at like we had to be playing at a certain moment in time, right?
Hmm.
With certain people that we came across somehow. And then somehow we met up and somehow we played a bunch and somehow and like now we're here. Like
Yeah,
it's weird to think about it like that, you know?
it's crazy.
Like it's weird. Like I think I knew Life Guy and that's how or Kenny knew Life Guy.
Yeah,
I knew Kenny. Somehow ended up in the same party. We
because
started playing and
I
then I
got
don't
invited by
remember why
someone
I
else
invited you.
in a ranked play one time. This dude invited me, and I was like,
Mm.
okay. And then I can't remember his name, but he was friends with Life Guy.
Mm.
And so then like 2 days later, I got invited to his party again. Or I didn't even get invited to his party the first time. He just invited me to play, and then he didn't add me or anything. And then like the next week or
Yeah.
something, I like versed him again, and then he invited me to his party, and then I think Life Guy was in there. And so then anytime
Yeah.
I join up and Life Guy would be there, and then I don't know, my Life Guy liked me, but
Yeah.
um,
Well, you were better than me.
started playing
So
twos
like
and stuff. Yeah.
it was yeah. It was a good choice on his part, you know.
I still had him on
Probably better
Snapchat
than
until like
Kenny.
2 years ago, I think. I'd be like, oh, like
For
who's
real?
this person on my Snapchat? And it'd be
Yeah.
just like the weirdest stories. And I'd be like, I should probably unadd this person. I think I unadded them. He might still be on my Snapchat. That'd be weird.
I think I blocked Kenny after a while.
Yeah.
I feel like I blocked him, which is really mean,
Hmm.
but he just wasn't, you know. Look, it was cutthroat back in the day, man. You wanted to
Had to
win, you
make it,
know?
yeah.
You wanted to fucking win. I wanted to be a pro, man. I was like,
Hmm.
I've won golds. I got this.
Yep.
Then I played with Matt for 3 years. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking playing with Matt for that long. But
Yeah.
that was a good question. Yeah, it's weird to look back on, but I'm still sad that we never got a gold. I'm still sad. Not like a yeah blackout, but like
Ah,
a
yeah.
real
Yeah.
like all together one like S&D tourney.
Yeah.
I feel like we should have been able to do it over the years, but it just wasn't in the
Maybe
cards, I
maybe you'll
guess.
have to start grinding. It might be hard now, but maybe
Mm. I'm down. I'm
region
down. Like
restraints.
I was
But
thinking about that. Like yeah, but I was thinking about that, and it was like, yeah, it sucks that I'm on higher ping, but it doesn't mean that everything I'm doing on the map has to be useless just because I'm on higher ping. Like
well, Bessie can kind of handle streaming, you know.
yeah,
But
I'll just have to take a real Damon role
we'll
and
need
just sit
Alex to
back
get
and
really good because
organize.
I'll be framing around because I have to stream, and you'll be on 200 ping.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, he has to get a controller if we ever want to play
oh yeah,
anything serious.
you almost did, man. You almost did.
I don't know what like.
Anyways,
It's like 30 bucks.
yeah.
Like, the fuck? Anyway, we're about hour 20 in, almost pretty much done. Is there anything you wanted to add? Is there any topic you got left or?
I have two, kind of. I don't know. Why don't I let you choose? I have a topic about music,
Okay.
and I have another topic about
Mm.
gaming.
Let's do music. We did a lot of gaming today already.
Okay. This one's poorly worded in my notes, worded, so we'll see.
Mm.
Do you think that the music you maybe listened to as a child, or like the music you've listened to, has affected your personality, or do you think your personality has affected the type of music you're listening to? If that makes sense.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Oh, jeez. You know, I don't know. I think it changes when you get older
That's what
because
I
your
was gonna say.
personality's already
Yeah.
formed, you
Hmm.
know? So then you end up searching music that fits your personality. But when
Yeah.
you're a kid, I do think your personality or your music taste
Hmm.
gets formed by what you're exposed to. Um, because I mean, when I was a kid, I mean, I was lucky that my parents had different music tastes.
Hmm.
So my mom would listen to a certain, like she would listen to punk rock and jazz. She had a very wide range, like punk rock, jazz, orchestras. I mean, it just was all over the place.
Yeah.
But then my dad was like the hip hop guy. Like he just listened to hip hop all the time. Hip hop and R&B was like my dad's thing.
Hmm.
And so I got kind of lucky in that I would just go through the old tapes that they had, cassettes, and just fuck around, listen to all of them. Um, but now that I'm older, I think, yeah, I have to find things that fit me better. Whereas back then, I was much more like, I would listen to anything, and it
Yeah.
was like, if it was new and interesting, and I hadn't heard it before, I would listen to it. But yeah, I think it changed somewhere along the line, maybe my teenage years, where I really like clung to a few artists that I liked the way they did
Yeah.
music, or you know, I think it just changed. But yeah, as a kid, I was definitely more like, it definitely, I would listen to Nirvana one week and just be like, fucking put up, playing my guitar in my room, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
or listen to a hip hop album and I'd be like, oh, I'm fucking shit, you know what I mean? You feel good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, then you get older and you kind of go like, well, okay, I'm sad right now. Let me seek out this one song that I know I like. You know what I mean? You start
Hmm.
like picking out shit, but it definitely changed somewhere along the line. But yeah, what about you? Same thing, kind of. Well, you
Yeah,
weren't
I mean,
really
it was the
like,
same
you never
thing.
really
I
like
didn't get,
seeked it out, right?
no, I didn't get, like, my music experience was like, my dad would play whatever was on the radio. Like, he just turned the radio on. So I'd listen to a lot of, like,
Yeah,
pop and stuff like that, or even a bit of
yeah,
country. Um, and then my mom, pretty much the same thing. She'd put in, like, she'd, like, buy Bon Jovi CDs for, like, road trips and stuff. But we didn't
yeah,
really, like, play music a lot, and I didn't, like, seek it out. Like, we didn't use Spotify, and I didn't really listen to my like YouTube music was like finding a 2 hour playlist to play while I was working of just whatever.
right, yeah,
So it wasn't like a big part of my childhood, but definitely like yeah, as you get older, I feel like you're you know more of like who you are, and so you find the music that fits that. But
fits you better. Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah. I don't know. I got kind of lucky because both my parents. Well, my mom was basically. I mean, she grew up in a musician family. Like my grandma
Mhm.
is a piano player, tunes pianos for a living, but does like concerts and shit all the time. And my dad, I just recently found out like the last couple years that he like wanted to be an artist and like he was real big into singing and playing shit. Like, so I came from kind of a music focused family. Not that that was like a part of the thing,
Mhm.
but they definitely, it was a part of like, oh, we're in the car. You know, that's where like Smashing Pumpkins came from and Nirvana came from, and like
Yeah.
we would listen to that in the car, or like these abstract bands like Kashmir, like just weird '90s bands from like my mom's college era.
Yeah.
So I got kind of lucky in that sense, where like, yeah, it wasn't just like a radio thing. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think that takes it away by any means, but um, yeah. But now that you're older, yeah, I mean, you seek out like you know what you like and
Mhm.
you know types of music you like, and so yeah. Well, what's the game in question? What's the game in question today?
It was
May
just
as well.
what do you think the gaming industry is going to look like 10, 15, 20 years from now? Um, like, is there going to be a point where like we aren't going to see consoles anymore? Like our consoles are going to be the handheld, like the
Mm.
Switch and like the whatever the Steam thing is. Like, do you think we're ever going to lose like consoles per se? And it doesn't have to be just like consoles, just like the gaming industry in general. I wonder what it's going to
Yeah.
look like.
I think you'll definitely see more PC involvement for sure. I mean, it
Hmm.
seems like people buying gaming PCs is becoming a bigger thing and more affordable now.
Yeah.
Like the way that consoles are, it's no longer because like back in the day, your console probably could run a game better than your PC could,
Yeah.
unless you had spent a shitload of money on a gaming PC, which back in the day was not a thing.
Well, and now your consoles are almost like mini PCs, like
Yeah,
the the
exactly.
Xbox, whatever, the brick fridge.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
but
basically yeah like a mid tower at this
I don't
point.
know. Like, is VR gonna become more of a thing? Like, it's tough. I feel like
I
there's
don't
gonna have
know
to
if
be like
VR.
groundbreaking changes in the next like 10 years
Yeah,
for
I
it to
mean,
become more mainstream. But
here's the thing about VR that I don't think. First of all, it's just not there yet.
no,
Visually,
N-
it's just not there yet.
no.
Um, I do think it's just weird because when VR becomes a big thing, whenever it does, it will, I think, at some point.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take
It's
more
gonna
than
have to
10
be
years, maybe. But
it's gonna have to be something that legit hooks up to your fucking brain. And like
yeah.
you're no longer you're like sedentary.
Hmm.
You're not moving because the problem with VR now is like it kind of takes up a lot of space. There's a
Hmm.
lot of cords. There's a lot of shit that goes in with VR
Yeah.
that's impractical and impractical enough for you to not use it as much as you would anything else. But I think whenever we get chips in our head, which I'm sure will happen, um, if we can use the controls with just our brain and not have to move and not have to sit, we could just like close our eyes or you put a little glasses on and we use our brain as the controller. I think that's when VR is going to become the norm.
Yeah.
But until that happens, I don't think VR is going to be really a big thing until that really happens.
Hmm.
And like you said, like something groundbreaking happens where it's like you just press a button and you're like and you're fucking knocked out and you're
Hmm.
in the game. I don't think it's gonna be big until that happens. But I don't with the consoles. It really depends on how affordable they make them, right?
Yeah.
Because I think the biggest thing back in the day was you bought a PS3 or PS4 because it was cheaper than buying a gaming PC.
Yeah. Um,
But now you really don't have to spend that much more on a gaming PC compared to how much the consoles are now.
hmm.
Like, what's the Xbox? 500, 600?
Yeah.
Like top of the line Xbox, like $600. You spend like 200, 300 more bucks, you got a gaming PC
Hmm.
that's probably gonna run it better than your console. So it just depends on how affordable they keep consoles, which I don't see it staying affordable. I
No.
just don't,
Like, I feel like
because the PC market's growing.
consoles used to be like, oh man, like the Christmas gift or something that like someone
Yeah.
would get, and now it's like
Hmm.
can't. They're so
Now it's like,
expensive. You can't get one.
yeah,
You can't afford to
you're
get one for
saving up.
someone. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It is weird. I don't.
Um,
I mean, I think that they'll be around for the next
y-
5. I think
yeah.
a good 5 years we've got until the next gen.
Hmm.
Like, cause I know everyone gave me shit about this back in the day, but like, the consoles are usually on an 8-year cycle. That's like the normal
Yep.
cycle is every 8 years. That's just the development cycle of consoles. Usually, usually. Um, I do think this next gen we're gonna see more PCs.
Yeah.
I just think that's I just think the consoles are going to get so expensive, and the reason they're getting expensive is because they're trying to pack a PC in a console
Hmm.
to compete with PCs, and I just don't think it's going to stay affordable anymore. And I think people are going to make the decision, especially now where everybody's so like, you watch your favorite streamer, you're probably going to wonder what PC he uses and what he's playing on. It's just like more people are understanding that they're gaming PCs. Like back in that day, that just wasn't a thought.
Yeah.
Like no one really thought about it. And you also had console exclusives, like you couldn't play Halo 3 on a PC. You couldn't play. I mean, you could play COD 4 on a PC, but it just was weird.
Yeah.
It just didn't work very well. So I think it will change in that way, where people are just buying PCs instead of consoles because it's easier for them. But
Hmm.
yeah, and I don't know how that'll change the games.
Yeah, I
And
saw a tweet. It's kind of unrelated, but this guy was saying that it takes so long to make these AAA games now that I think it was earlier this week. Like, if a developer started making a AAA game today, they'd be
mm,
making it for the PlayStation 6, the next gen. Like, it takes so
yeah,
long for these developers to make games nowadays
it takes forever.
that
Yeah.
they're already making games for the next gen.
Mhm.
Or but
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean the like for example the console developers like Microsoft and Sony. I remember them giving people dev kits for the PS4 and like I mean shit. Maybe Modern Warfare 3? Like there were talks about new consoles that early
Hmm.
and people were getting dev kits and starting development for shit that wasn't going to come out for like yeah, like 3 or 4 years. So, um yeah, it does it takes a long fucking time because games are getting more and more and more intricate, detailed, and the fucking long as hell, and there's a fucking score, and there's voice acting. Like it's so much more now than it used to be, where
Yeah.
like you had menu music and campaign music maybe if you're lucky, and you get some voice acting, but like it wasn't a lot, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? But now it's like you're playing a movie basically,
Yep.
and I mean, comparatively, it's probably harder to make a game now than it is to make a movie. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna change the game industry. Um, I think you'll just have more like your AAA games will be more spaced out,
Mhm.
and then you'll kind of have these indie games pop up. Like, Fortnite was a big kind of random indie game that took the world by storm. I think you're gonna have like 2 or 3 Fortnites a year, and then at the end of the year you'll have a big like a Call of Duty or a fucking some kind of shit from Blizzard that comes out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Um, but I think you're gonna see these indie games getting highlighted more and more just because you're right, the development cycle's so long that it's going to be impossible. I mean, and I don't see Call of Duty sticking to a yearly thing. I know they are, but at some point at some point they're just not going to be able to do it anymore. Like,
Yeah.
and it won't make sense to. It won't make sense to take all these players from a different game. It just won't make sense.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of surprised they did it with Warzone, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I did not think they would go, "Hey, you're going to have to you're going to have to download a whole other game, whole other map, different weapons." Like, for me in my head as like someone who's I would imagine thinking like as a business, why would you take this whole player base and then create another step for them? You already have them in this one place.
Mhm.
So I don't see them doing that shit that often because on one hand it creates hype, right? Like new Warzone, you get all these people who played the first Warzone that didn't really play it anymore come back and play it. It worked for me, it worked for us.
Yeah.
So, but at some point it's gonna be like, all right, I don't want to play the new Warzone. Like it kind of looks the same. I'm not gonna download 40 more gigs. Like I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I think you'll see more of a spread out cycle with Warzone specifically, and maybe COD, depending on how these studios end up doing things. But uh, yeah, I don't know. But I think consoles are here for a bit, at least the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I think it really just depends. Like if next gen's over $1,000, it's not gonna happen. It's just not.
Nope.
It's not gonna happen. And it's also like you don't have as many kids playing console anymore.
No.
You just don't. Like back in the day, consoles was the kid. Like every kid had a console, but now you've kind of got a shitload of adults playing too. Like I think the adult base has grown a lot more over the past couple of years as well. So
Yep.
we'll just have to see, I guess. But yeah. Anyways, that was a long-winded answer for that, but yeah. But for VR, yeah, I think we got a long time for VR.
Oh
I
yeah.
really do. I think we got a while. I know there's a lot of investment in meta and everything, but it's not gonna be enough yet. It's just not.
No.
But yeah. Well, is there anything else you'd like to talk about before we
That was the highlights of my list. Yeah.
that was it? Okay. Well, man, we were about the same time as last week. I'm kind of surprised we went this long. I might have to cut out some of my stories. I probably shouldn't have told that one about the girl. I don't want to get in trouble for that, but
Eh.
no one's gonna say anything. Um. Anyway, if anyone made it this far, thank you for watching. I know a few people on the last episode actually did make it to the end and watch all the way through, so that's awesome. Um, yeah, I'm thinking about maybe I'll talk to you afterwards. Actually, I have some ideas, but yeah, thank you for watching. Again, we'll have socials in the description for everyone. If you want to follow me or Sauce, go ahead give it a follow. We have a Twitter account just for the podcast as well, where I'll probably post updates and shit
Yep.
whenever the episode's out or if episode's running late or whatever it is. Um, but yeah, I think that's gonna do it. So, bye,
Peace.
bye, peace.